Okie dokie, I think we're live. Are we live? Hang on. Yeah, I think, we're live. Yes, just a quick one, man. Maybe go for an hour, something like that. You guys know how it is. Just a bit of boxing talk. Big up to Haitian Sensation. Plant-based boxing in the house as well. Big up to you, son. Big up to you. Good weekend of boxing coming up. Obviously, Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Casemiro. Really interesting fight. I am backing Casemiro to win that fight. The younger, fresher man, very aggressive. I think he might overwhelm Rigondeaux. But, Casemiro takes a lot of risks. And if Rigondeaux can time him coming in, then Rigondeaux's got a puncher's chance. So that's an intriguing fight. And, of course, we have, in my opinion, probably the most interesting fight this weekend. Virgil Ortiz versus Egis Kavaliauskas. Really good step up for Virgil Ortiz. Kavalauskas, a fringe top 10 guy at welterweight. Pretty compact, hard puncher. Good amateur back in the day as well. So that's going to be a good test for Virgil Ortiz Jr. So all in all, this weekend is looking pretty solid. And obviously we have the Matchroom Fight Camp week 3. So good weekend of boxing coming up. A good weekend. Yes, we are indeed live on this fine Monday evening. I love that name, man. The Black Skellington. Aegis to beat Ortiz. I see a lot of people picking Aegis to win that fight. I've got Virgil Ortiz, man. Stoppage late on. Similar area to when Crawford stopped him. Sort of around, rounds 8, 9, 10 kind of thing. It's going to be a good fight, though. No, he's not. He's not. No. That's still not been confirmed when that fight is. But there was a ruling recently that that fight will be it's going to be in America. It's not going to be in Australia. Casemiro Rigondeaux is more interesting than Ortiz Kavaliauskas, to be honest. You could be right. It's really down to what Rigondeaux has left at this point. I mean, what we do know, according to BoxRec, he's 40 years old. For my money, he's a lot older. He looks a lot older than that, to be honest. But, Rigondeaux is visibly slowing down at this stage. His legs have slowed down. Can't really move like he used to. So I would imagine Casemiro will overwhelm him. It's whether Rigondeaux can find that straight left hand as Casemiro is coming in. And it could happen. It's an interesting fight. Aegis could drop Virgil. It's possible. Oh, big up Matt. Long time no see, Matt. Long time no see, bro. Hopefully you're keeping well. Nice of you to drop by and contribute to the channel, man. Much appreciated. But yeah, hopefully you've been well, bro, during these crazy times. But yeah, good to see you here, man. Good to see you here. Been a supporter for a long time, man. So it's good to see you around, man. It's funny. Do you know what? It's funny you actually. Pop in today. It's only a couple of weeks ago I was thinking of dropping you a DM on Twitter, making sure you was all good and that. So big up to Matt, long-term supporter. Much appreciated, Matt. Big up. Ortiz is overhyped in my opinion. I don't think so, man. He's an exciting prospect. He's taken care of the opponents he's been dealt with so far. And I think the matchmaking for Ortiz has been spot on in the last, 18 months or so. He's been getting gradual step-ups each time. And I think this is the biggest step-up so far. So, listen, I like Virgil Ortiz. I really do. Big up, Aegis, Big up to Haydar. He says, thoughts on Fight Camp 3, updated card. G-Man said it's a hyped-up next-gen show. Do you agree with him? I'm happy to see Farouk back. Yeah, I do agree, Haydar, because really, I like the main event. I think Bolotnik's he's a good test for Buatsi at this stage. No problem with that fight whatsoever. But when you look at the rest of the card, there's nothing really there that it tickles my pickle, put it that way. But I am glad to see Farouk back in action. He's a good fighter. And hopefully, Haydar, after that Farouk fight, providing he wins, hopefully we get that rematch with Lee McGregor. That's what I'm hoping. Big up to Benjo. He says, "Hi Del, first stream I've joined for a while. Got a bit disillusioned with boxing after Joshua Fury was a no-go." I know what you mean, bro. Like the last month or so, I have been kind of struggling to upload with the same consistency. I'm not gonna lie, but we got a few good weeks coming up. This weekend coming up is good. Some good fights. We've got Spence Pacquiao coming up, Joshua Usyk. So I'm more invested now in boxing than I was for the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks. I can't lie, but I get where you're coming from, Benjo. I get where you're coming from. I think it's a good test, Benjo. If Bolotniks can stick around and take that fight late, it's going to be very interesting, because Bolotniks employs a pretty high pace. He'll pressure you behind that high guard. He's durable. He's strong. Maintains a pretty good work rate. So if that fight does go late, it'll be interesting. But I like that fight. Again, no problem at all with that fight. Fowler-Smith presser tomorrow. Cheeseman versus Williamson on the bill. That's a good domestic card. Fowler versus Smith's going to be a lot of fun. I think Liam Smith wins, to be honest. I think Liam Smith is a bit too experienced. But Cheeseman versus Williamson's going to be a banger. We all know what Cheeseman brings to the table. He's an aggressive dude, throws a lot of punches, throws caution to the wind. Whereas Troy Williamson is more of a boxer-puncher type, I would say. But he can crack. So that's going to be a good fight. That's going to be a good fight. But yeah, I do like the Bolotniks fight. Rank these heavyweights: Usyk, White, Joyce, Wilder, Ruiz. In my opinion, based on who can beat who, are Usyk, Wilder, Joyce, Ruiz, and then White. I wouldn't really disagree with that list, to be honest. I wouldn't really disagree, to tell you the truth. Boazzi will bust him up, in my opinion. Yeah, I always, to me, Bolotniks is like a poor man's Arthur Abraham. And that's not meant as an insult. Abraham was a good fighter. But Bolotniks likes to come forwards, nice and compact, elbows tucked in, tight guard. He'll come forwards, throw the jab and try and get up close and work you over. Boazzi is definitely more quick. He's more athletic. He's got more variety in his work. So maybe you're right. But I think it's a good test. I think it's a good test. Yeah, Joe Cordina, another one from 2016 who's not really pushed on. Alex, not really pushed on. I mean, I was saying this in the preview for Fight Camp Week 3. When you look at the 2016 Olympians, man, it's been pretty poor, to be honest. Like, Akole's done the best. He's done very well. Joe Joyce has done pretty well. But apart from that, man, these guys have really slacked. I think this current crop in 2021 is a better crop than the 2016 bunch, to be honest. Big up to Shadow Boxing in the house. I think you should do a video on GB and who they should sign with and ranking Sky pay-per-views before Hearn left, or your favourite fights and undercards. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a GB Olympian video. I was thinking about doing that. You guys, well, Fraser Clark, I'm not really too sure, to tell you the truth. Who knows with him? Pat McCormack, I think you'll see something similar to Josh Kelly. He's going to look stylish early on, and I can see that guy getting overwhelmed. I think Ben Whittaker has an interesting style. He reminds me a little bit of James DeGale, Ben Whittaker, and I think that guy can befuddle a lot of guys in the pro ranks. If Ben Whittaker has a decent chin and decent stamina, I think Ben Whittaker's going to go far. Galal Yafai, defensively not the best, but he's got a pro style. He's very aggressive, Galal Yafai. So I'm liking the look of Galal Yafai right now as a pro, and Ben Whittaker. That's who I'd be looking out for, personally. Yeah, poor man's Abraham to describe Bolotniks. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah. I enjoyed the Saturday card, watched it with my daughter. She loved the Babbitt's proposal. If it gets her interested in the sport, I'm not complaining at all, although it was a bit cheesy and slightly disturbing, yeah. Listen, man, it was good fun for what it was, that card. It was good domestic action. It wasn't anything special, but it wasn't terrible. You know, just a good domestic card. And listen, man, I don't rate Alan Babbage, to be honest, but he is good fun. He is good fun. I think that guy's going to get knocked out when he steps up. Like, I would actually pick David Price to knock out Alan Babbage, to be honest. Fraser Clark is terrible. He won't make it far at all. Yeah, I'm not all that impressed with Fraser, but who knows, man? Who knows? I've got Oscar Valdez, shadow boxing. Cohen Sal was a really good amateur, obviously a gold medalist back in 2016, but I don't know why that guy's been moved so slowly. I mean, if you look at his career, he's had, what, like 16 fights maybe? And for the most part, he's been fighting like 8-rounders. So I like Cohen Sal's style. I think he's really fun to watch, but I just don't think he beats Valdez. I think he'll get knocked out. Yeah, I saw that. I kind of saw that. He was talking to when he met that girl. She was like 17 and he was what, like 27 or something. There you go. Big up to Michael Van Gerwen. Johnny Fisher versus David Adelaide. Who would you choose? I would actually pick Johnny Fisher, to be honest. Both are super raw, but I've actually seen improvements from Johnny Fisher's debut to his third fight, whereas Adelaide, I've not really seen those improvements. But you know, both are very young though. Big up to Felipe. Salute to you, sir. You've been here a lot recently, man. So big up to Felipe. Nice of you to drop by, man, and show support, man. Big up to you. Thoughts on Jalalov and Torres? Personally, I don't rate both. I think both guys will make for interesting pros. Obviously, Jalalov's already had 8-9 fights, whatever. But, you know, Jalalov is a 6'7" southpaw who can box, who can move, who can punch. Naturally, he's going to be an interesting prospect in the heavyweight division. I can certainly see him reaching title contention level, but whether he can beat the elite guys remains to be seen. Richard Torres, he's improved a lot since 2019 when he got knocked out by Jalalov. He looks like a physically strong dude, seems to carry power. I like the way he fights, quite aggressive. You know, it's interesting. I think both will be interesting prospects in the division. Fraser isn't terrible, but he isn't special. He's decent. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Intangible. Could the guy get to maybe European level as a pro? Yeah, I'd say so. But I can't see Fraser really getting to the elite level. Exactly. Context is key, Crazy. If you're asking me what I think of Wardley as a prospect in general, I don't think he goes all the way. I think he'll probably get knocked out once he gets past domestic level. But if you look at it in context, for a guy who started boxing late with no amateur background, the guy's good. He's obviously a quick learner. He's athletically gifted. He's quick, carries some sort of power. For a guy who basically picked up boxing late, he's good. But in the grand scheme of things, is he a great prospect? No. Aside from Spence Torres in recent Olympics, a lot of USA Olympians love to hit and hold and eventually get outworked. Yeah. Yeah, I think Keyshawn Davis will do well in the pros. Yeah, I'll be interested, Haydar, to see what Sky do with Boxer and Ben Shalom, whatever his name is. Big up to Jerome Benjamin in the house every single time. Yeah, Fraser Clark needs to get in with a British level guy right away, like Joyce did with Ian Lewison. Not sure if there's a guy kicking about like Lewison though. So who could Fraser? Sorry, I'll start again. Who could Fraser Clark fight on his debut? Maybe someone like Cash Ali. Maybe Cash Ali. But you're right. There's nobody really knocking around like Lewison. Do you know what? I've not seen it. I've not seen it, Shadow, but I've heard it was a robbery. Big up to Unrivaled. Salute to Unrivaled. Del, thoughts on when fans call a prospect world class, but if you mention a tough fight, they immediately say, nah, he's not ready. That's the nature of a beast, bro. That is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's contradictory, isn't it? It's contradictory. But I see a lot of people saying that with Fabio Wardley. You know, again, in context, given where he's come from, he's a good fighter. But Yeah, I've seen a lot of hype for Fabio Wardley. A lot of hype. People are like ruling out Nathan Gorman if those guys fought. I think that's a competitive fight. Do you rate Willie Hutchinson? Absolutely not. Chinny, no defense. Again, one of those guys I would call style over substance. It looks flashy. Some of his moves are quite cute, but when man gets touched on the chin, he goes down. So, not convinced. Yeah, Fraser Clark versus Kingpin. Good shout. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, K-Shawn had like 2 or 3 pro fights. Yeah. Nick Webb or Sokolovsky as a debut for Clarkey. Good shout. I like how Boxer are doing the prize fighters again. You know, I liked Prize Fighter for what it was, especially when it was heavyweights. I'm more confident in Clark's level, to be honest. Jalalov is extremely boom or bust. Most talented prospect at heavyweight since Fury. Maybe more since he's got the power, but I don't know about his chin and stamina. Yeah. I mean, Jalalov, he actually got hurt in his last pro fight in Mexico. He was fighting some fat cab driver, and he kind of got rocked in that fight. So you're right. Who knows about the chin? The stamina after like 4 or 5 rounds. But yeah, in terms of skill, he's got a lot of potential. A lot of potential. Willie Hutchinson, he's the next Joe Calzaghe. More like the next fucking Gary Cornish. Josh Kelly on points. How much of a shot do you give Rigondeaux this weekend? A solid puncher's chance. Because as I said, Rigondeaux does hit hard. Down at bantamweight, no doubt about it. He hits hard. And Casemiro takes a lot of risks, man, coming forwards. He comes in square on at times, really leaps in. If Rigondeaux can take that half step back and time that with a straight left, I think he can definitely hurt Casemiro, maybe drop him, maybe knock him out. So he's got a chance. He's got a chance. I like that fight. I like that fight a lot. I'm excited to see Clark as a pro. He's a 6'6", 250-pound mid-range to inside fighter. It could be interesting indeed. And if that guy's got a great chin, you know, could give a lot of guys problems. And from what I've seen in the amateurs, from what I have seen of Fraser Clark, when he's fought punchers, he's held out quite well. So I think his chin is decent. Just about every athlete is a pro, so I could care less about pros boxing in the Olympics. I agree. Where is Kelly? He's been silent since Where is Kelly? He's been silent as a mouse. Finally realizes he's just a hype job. Yeah, exactly. Second to last fight because he fought Kristaps Azutis in Uzbekistan a few months back. Clark gave Jalalov all he could handle. I mean, yeah, he was physical, but in terms of scoring work, I don't think he was doing much in that fight, to tell you the truth. That's an interesting fight. But I would pick Stanionis, to be honest. I would pick Stanionis. Conor Benn, no doubt he's improved since when he first turned over, but there are still so many things. You know, he's still vastly unproven, Conor Benn. Stanionis hits hard. He's got good timing, does all of the basics well, seems pretty tough. I mean, would you be confident again? So let's say Conor Benn fought Thomas Delorme. Would you be confident in Conor Benn, who Stanionis last fought? I'm not convinced. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, Wilfredo Leal. Yeah, that's the one. He does get. Yeah, he seems to cut a lot. Yeah, he does. That big bald head of his. You'd think he'd be cutting people with that noggin. Why not? I'd watch it. Who should Rylan Clark fight at lightweight? Jesus. I've got no idea, to be honest. No idea. I would have said like someone like Atif Shafiq, if you remember him, but he's not fought in a while. Who would you pick to beat a prime Amir Khan without knocking him out? Interesting. Tim Bradley. I think he would have done a similar job to Lamont Peterson. Worked Khan over on the inside. Basically bull rushed him, closed the distance quick, and worked him on the inside. I'd say Tim Bradley. See, when that fight was talked about back in the day, a lot of people were favouring Amir Khan, but I always felt Bradley would do the job, personally. I think he's a bit too robust, a bit too versatile for Amir Khan. Because if Bradley could close the distance, Khan's not out fighting him on the inside. Cheers, bro, for looking out for me. I've just been sorting out moving during these crazy times. Currently, I miss trying to relocate in the south to a new place, and I haven't managed to catch your lives. No, it's no problem, bro. As long as you're doing good, and you keep on progressing, you keep on moving forwards. That's all that matters, mate. But it's nice of you to drop by, and I hope it all goes well, bro. I hope it all goes well. I know your pain, though. I relocated back in February, and it took me a while to get kind of just used to new things and whatnot. And it's only really now I've kind of come up with a routine, I guess, and I'm changing a few things in life. I want to get a six-pack by next fucking summer. If I don't have one by next summer, I'm a fucking lazy bum cunt dosser. So there we go. Got a few things I'm working on right now. Murad Aliyev, yep. I also like the look of Imam Katayev. I'm not convinced by Stanionis, to be honest. He doesn't seem to cut the ring off well for somebody who's a pressure fighter. Doesn't seem to have one-punch power. Very accurate, though, yeah. He's technically sound. I agree. In terms of being a top prospect, I don't really rate Stanionis that highly. But against Conor Benn, I think Stanionis would have to go in as favourite for me. Yeah, exactly. See, I've not even seen that fight, but apparently from what I read, Stanionis was looking okay. I think Jalalov might have good recovery. He actually posted a clip on YouTube of himself getting dropped hard twice and then suddenly regaining his legs and knocking the dude out. The Marquez recovery, indeed, yeah, indeed. Yeah, why didn't the Can Man call out Joe Joyce? Weren't they both in Eddie's garden? Exactly. That would be a great fight. That would be a great fight. But Joe Joyce isn't 40 plus yet, so Dillian needs to wait 5 years. Fights you wanted during the Golden Boy Top Rank era. I mean, fuck. To be honest, I can't really fucking think. I'll be honest with you. I can't really think. Yes, big up to Junior. Salute to Del Boy and Mark. Big up to you, Junior, man. Big up to you. What do you think about Stevie McKenna-Kid? Mick Hennessy's wheeling out. I think he's got a knockout loss coming for him as soon as he fights a British level guy. You might be right, Alex. One thing I will say in regards to Mick Hennessy, he gets a lot of stick, no doubt about it. But one thing about Mick Hennessy, he's a great talent spotter. He really is. If you look at some of the guys he's worked with, like when they've turned pro, he's a really good talent spotter. So maybe the McKenna brothers are legit, but who knows? I like looking at Maya Jama, gorgeous woman. Tony Bellew, not got any time for him. Andy Lee seems to be going downhill. I like Chris Lloyd. Laura Woods is okay. I mean, it just seems like Sky 2.0, to be honest, is what it is. You get your own gym soon, the growth of your other channel. Yes, maybe. Who knows, man? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Yeah, Stanionis is a better Kerman Leharaga. I think that's a good take. Yeah, that's a good take. I agree. Yes, man. I'm good, brother. Well, are you talking to Mark? Oh, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Finally got around to scoring Maestre versus Fox. How did you have it? Who's going to get the Khan fight, Brook or Ben? To be honest, I'd rather it be Conor Ben, Stephen. I've just lost all interest in Khan versus Brook at this point. It'll be a slap to the fans. That fight should have happened in 2014 when Brook was the IBF champion. And for it to happen now just appears to be a big cash-out fight for both guys. These guys weren't, well, Brook was, but Khan wasn't willing to fight him back when it mattered. And he only wants it now because it's the last payday he can get. So fuck that fight. I'd rather Conor Ben fight Khan. Because at least then it kind of builds a new star if Conor Ben beats him. So yeah, fuck Khan and Brook. I wouldn't pay for it, put it that way. That's what I've been hearing. I've not seen it. But I'm not surprised. Fox is a very long-rangey, awkward fighter. Better than his record indicates. Big up to Naril. Why didn't Fury and Caballero happen? Well, there were loads of rumours. Loads of rumours. I heard money. There wasn't the money in the UK for that fight. Obviously, there was no crowds at that time. And I heard that was one of the sticking points. Who knows what was going on with Fury and Wilder behind closed doors? To be honest with you, I've got no idea, but I think it was down to money. I think Stanionis, Jamal James, maybe Ugas are about the same level. Yeah, I'd say Ugas is a bit above Jamal James and Stanionis, but yeah, they're in and around the same level, yeah. Yeah, Stanionis doesn't really cut the ring off, but he's very consistent. Nice tight guard with good combos to body and head. I can see him beating some top quality guys. Yeah, I think Stanionis, though, I think his level is like lower level top 10. Lower level top 10. I think he's got a slightly higher ceiling than Kavalauskas. I think he's slightly more skilled. I know what you mean, Unrivaled. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Stanionis, Avanesian, who have you got? That'd be a fucking war. That'd be a fucking war. I'd actually favour Stanionis. I think Stanionis. Yes, big up to Apology in the house. Salute to Apology. Radzab Butayev beats Stanionis. Yeah, Butayev's a good fighter. He gave Besputin a real hard fight a little while ago. He's a good fighter. Good body puncher, Butayev. Damn, Fox won by 11 rounds on Mark's card. Damn. Yeah, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Oh, no doubt, Stephen. No doubt. People are going to be getting gassed about that fight. Not so much the hardcores, but the casual fans, they'll love it. A bit of beef, you know. You know how UK fans operate for the most part, man. Laura Woods is taller than I thought. She towered over Kid Galahad and turned out she was wearing slippers in that segment. Yeah. Laura Woods. Would I give Laura Woods a go? Yeah, I don't see why not. I wouldn't kick her out of bed. But that's not exactly high praise, is it? I'm not the most fussy guy in the world. So, thoughts on other PBC prospects? Who do I like on the PBC side, prospect-wise? Like, I do like Jaron Ennis. I think he's a good prospect. Big dude for the weight. Athletically gifted. Good combination puncher. I like Jaron Ennis. I like Gary, the other Gary Russell. Is it Gary Antoine Russell at 140? I think he looks very intriguing. There's a couple of guys I like on the PBC side of things. Andy Lee scores rounds based on who has more Irish blood, I'm convinced. Yeah, Andy Lee's not a great scorer of fights. I think Andy Lee's one of those guys who is better as an analyst more so than a commentator, personally. Yeah, Stanionis does better at the top, but Avanesian beats him. Stanionis can't afford to keep his head static against a big puncher. Maybe. Do you think the YB has an unhealthy obsession with Tyson Fury and gypsy boxers in general? No, I don't think so. He's got a good business model for YB. He knows exactly what he's doing. And I don't blame the guy, man. He's found his niche. He makes content which makes me laugh. So, you know, it's what it is, really. It is what it is. I think he's all right, personally. I find him funny. I'd rather Ben fight either Delorme or Abel Ramos over Khan. I've lost all interest in Khan. Yeah, Abel Ramos would be really interesting. Like, Ramos gave Ugas a pretty tough fight a little while back. He hurt Ugas late on, so that'd be a good fight. And also Delorme as well. Tyson Fury's going to retire. Watch it. Maybe. I don't. I mean, with Tyson Fury, I wouldn't call out anything. Fox Maestro was a terrible fight. One of the worst I've watched in many a year. Yeah, I'm not going to go and watch it. I can't be asked. Do you know what, these days with boxing, how it is? I'm not going to watch these shit fights in which I've got no interest. Like before, I would watch everything. I'm just going to watch what I want to watch now. I'm not going to watch anything and everything just because I've got a fucking boxing channel. If I don't care for it, I'm not going to cover it now, to be honest. That as well, but that could have been easily rectified, Haydar. I think Jamal James is a bit higher level than Stanionis at the moment. He did better against Delorme. Styles make fights, though. Keep that in mind. The thing with Jamal James is he's super tall and super rangy for welterweight, but he likes to trade a bit too much. And I do like that, though. He's exciting. And against Stanionis, that'll make for a good fight. So it'd be interesting. The way we are treated as fans, I'm surprised anyone besides me still watches this wretched sport. 2 more days and we won't talk about the robbery anymore. That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes, John. You know? Derek. Yeah, Derek, I'm coming for you. Thoughts on when fans were calling Josh Kelly the British Roy Jones Jr.? I mean, that was pure hyperbole. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You know, certain clickbait channels who did highlights made those sort of titles, and I don't blame them. It's catchy. It's, you know, it's clickbaity. Again, it's their business model. I don't blame them, but like when hardcore boxing fans, yeah, and people who follow the sport were saying that, I mean, come on, man. Come on. Don't really have an opinion on it, E-Machines. I don't really have an opinion on it, man. I think the whole UK in general right now is up in smoke, to tell you the truth. I need me a fine, either Eastern European or Latina woman. That's what I'm looking for right now. Can't speak a lick of English. All she can say is yes and no. I'm joking. Yeah, that's going to be a fun little fight, LT. It's going to be a barn burner. Both guys are aggressive. Both guys from Liverpool. It's going to be a derby, bragging rights. That's a good domestic fight. Good domestic fight. I lean towards Liam Smith, though. Big up to John Gonzalez, straight out of Texas, man. John Gonzalez, man, one of my favorite people in the BDA family, the psycho himself. Big up to John. Thoughts on Messi leaving Barca? Hope he comes to the Premier League. He'll go to PSG. Crazy. He'll go to PSG. That's where the money is. Is what it is, man. In my opinion, Babic should have proposed inside the ring after a worthy fight. Yeah, man. I mean, but listen, Babic is what he is, man. He's good fun. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And by the way, big up to Hidden Ape VFX. He actually made me some banner art for the other channel. So that is much appreciated, man. Big up to Hidden Ape. Salute to you, sir, man. Much appreciated. And it looks really good as well. It looks really good. I like it, man. He's not, but he is, kind of thing. Like, he's been fighting on Showtime, so I'm going to say he's PBC. Jesus Ramos is a very good welterweight prospect, honestly. I need to be honest with you, Intangible, I've not looked at him. I've not looked at him. I'm going for the upset, but I'm thinking Rigondeaux will actually beat Casemiro by late stoppage. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised, man. It only takes one. And as we know, Casemiro takes a lot of risks. Dale not kicking Laura Woods out of bed is indeed high praise, considering his type is normally as wide as she is tall. Fuck's sake. I would take Laura Woods all day long and twice on Sundays. Oh, that's a hard one. Kate Abdu or Maya Jama? Maya Jama. To be honest, I'd go Maya Jama. It's not really a hard one. I actually quite rate Kate Abdu, but like, you know, I'm going to go Maya Jama. For the most part, I don't really care about the DAZN commentary, but Laura Woods is definitely an upgrade over Anna Woolhouse. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree. Yeah, just like the GGG robbery, everybody went nuts. Even news agencies. Then fast forward a couple of years and people tell you to shut up about it, laughing my ass off. Yeah, exactly. That's the nature of boxing fans though, and journalism in boxing. I mean the state of journalism in boxing right now is a fucking embarrassment from top to bottom. From the guys at Ring Magazine, absolute fucking paid shills, to even YouTube channels. You know, like for example, man. I mean, I hate to keep on going there, but like this whole Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant thing. I mean, you got guys out here calling out PBC corruption, which could be a thing. There's no doubt about it. I've got my problems with PBC, but these guys are calling out PBC corruption and at the same time shilling for Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? Like one of the dirtiest players in the game. Like Canelo Alvarez is boxing Ric Flair, dirtiest player in the game. You know, and yet guys are out here shilling for this dude, but criticizing PBC for their questionable ways. And again, I don't disagree with criticizing PBC. They do a lot wrong in boxing, but come on, man. That's what I'm saying with this whole YouTube boxing scene. To me, it just seems like you got to be in a clique. You got to follow a certain narrative. You know, it's fucking embarrassing, man. That's why I'm just keeping myself to myself these days. Can't be dealing with it. Cannot be dealing with it. Just, you know, keeping up appearances, saying things to appease certain fan bases so they continue to get viewers. Fuck that shit, man. Honestly, yeah, I'd rather watch these fucking cartel videos than hear these shit takes on boxing. Straight up. That triggers me more. Maybe I'm a fucking lunatic, I don't know, but yeah, boxing has always been corrupt. To start with, it was allowing journalists to pick on who won a fight. Then judges replaced them. The most professional judge will have bias towards a style or fighter. Favorite female MMA fighter? Mine's Thug Rose. She's a badass. Oh, what's her name? Oh, what's that pretty girl's name? Fuck. Oh, what's her name? Oh, Paige Van Zandt. I'll go Paige Van Zandt. Bielsa at the moment is trying to get hold of Messi to get him to join Leeds. Fucking hell. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Atlas, yeah, Atlas is a fucking disgrace. Steven Schneider. That guy embellishes every single story that guy's told. He's embellished it. Fucking clown, Teddy Atlas. I mean, look at him now, just like sucking up to the MMA world to get a paycheck. The guy's a clown. So I forgot who pointed it out, but you know, Atlas went in when Canelo beat Golovkin in the second fight and drew the first fight. Teddy Atlas went in both times, calling it a robbery, right? And that Golovkin won both fights. Yet he still puts Canelo at top of his pound-for-pound list. How does that work? And Golovkin's not even on his list. But it is what it is. Yeah, it looks good, man, Hidden Ape. It looks very good. Looks very good. Kid Galahad's performance versus Dickens was fantastic. He beat the shit out of him, indeed. Yeah, Kid Galahad looked extremely good. And that's another thing, like from a UK perspective, right? Kid Galahad, personally, yeah, as a human being, as a person, I think he comes across as a piece of shit, right? I won't mince my words. And he failed a drug test. However, the way the media treats Kid Galahad in relation to his failed drug test in comparison to Dillian White, Billy Joe Saunders, Tyson Fury is night and day. They've got it in for Kid Galahad, the boxing media in the UK. Like even on DAZN, Tony Bellew was a fucking disgrace. Like biting his tongue, not to say anything negative about Galahad's win. The guy's a fucking disgrace. And that's who we got covering this sport. People like Tony fucking Bellew. He's a fucking he's a cheerleader, man. Just stick him in a dress with pom-poms, man. The guy's a fucking disgrace. Like Tony Bellew and and Josh Warrington at the end of that show on the Zone, just having a circle jerk saying, oh, Josh Warrington doesn't need Kid Galahad. Yeah, he's going to move on to bigger things. Bigger things like getting knocked out by a 20-1 underdog. You fucking idiot. Like, again, I don't really like Kid Galahad as a person, but I'll give him his credit when he looks good and performs well, which I did. But he's, that guy's been treated so badly by the British boxing media. But his face doesn't fit for whatever reason. But guys like Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury, Billy Joe Saunders, they're okay. It is what it is. Is what it is. Yeah, Coogan's awful. Yes, sir. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Big up to Levi Khan. Who the fuck? I don't know who that is. Oh, that's a UFC dude, isn't it? Yeah, he beat up, what's his name? He beat up Derek Lewis. Yeah, he looked good. I only saw the highlights, though. I've still not seen it, Levi. But I've heard it was terrible. I think it's possible. The Laughing Egg. I do like that name. Atlas compared some Tyrone Woodley fight to Hearns versus Hagler. Exactly. That tells you all you need to know about Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas talks like a bird. Takes forever to get to the fucking point. Yeah, all of these like random ass analogies, going around the houses to make a simple point. Indeed. Yeah, it's Thunderdome. That was it. Yeah. That was it. To be fair, he is tight with Dickens. He's his manager, but again, that's a conflict of interest. Tony Bellew is supposed to be giving us an unbiased take on what is going on in the ring. He's an analyst on the Zone. He's a pundit. Like the Sky Sports, when it comes to football, on Sky Sports, you could get an ex-player commentating on or talking about their old team, and they'll be honest and just say that was shit or whatever. But like the likes of Tony Bellew, man, just cheering for his friends every single fucking time. Every single time. My man Tony Bellew was shouting at ringside during the fight for Jazza Dickens, and then he would come back on set and be an analyst. Come on now. Because Tony Bellew wanted to say something about Kid Galahad's drug ban because he was saying, I'm paraphrasing, but he was basically saying how great the Ingle Gym was under Brendan. And he said that it's basically slipped in recent years. It's not, the image is not being upheld, which is basically a dig at Galahad for failing a drug test. But, when it comes to Dillian Whyte, Billy Joe Saunders, Tyson Fury, it's okay when those guys fail tests because those guys are his friends. The guy's a fucking disgrace, Tony Bellew. Absolute fucking disgrace. One of the biggest clowns in boxing, Tony Bellew. Mr. Vacant title. Got pimp slapped by Stevenson. Fuck Tony Bellew, man. The guy was a decent fighter, but the guy's a clown. Shouldn't be covering boxing. Should not be covering boxing, Tony Bellew. Check out the Gloria Martinez Rizzo news in her judging of Michael Fox versus Maestre. Yeah, I saw something about that, Levi, yeah. I would have preferred an old merchant than Tony Harley Quinn Bellew. Yeah, anybody but Bellew, yeah. I love watching Bellew analyze fighters he has no friendship with, but when he analyzes anyone close to him, he's gonna win with friends. He loves a Twix. Yeah, exactly. Why do they get Bellew when everyone hates him? It's just for Matchroom Boys Club E-Machine for the most part. I think it's just for Matchroom Boys Club. He's a friend of Eddie Hearn. They're close, so he's going to get the job. Like when that DAZN announcement first came up on social media, like pretty much not everybody, that's an exaggeration, but the vast majority of negative outburst was towards Tony Bellew being on there. Most boxing fans don't like his work when it comes to being a pundit, but he still gets a job. Is Bellew the biggest man fan / cheerleader to be a commentator? I would say so. He's up there. Oh, that's a big call. If he does it, it'll be late on. Hidden Ape. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Galahad as a person, but like the way that guy's been treated in comparison to other guys in similar situations is night and day. It's completely different. like, the names I mentioned, Dillian White, Billy Joe, Tyson Fury. I'm here for Del Boy's rant against Tony Bellew. I hate that fool too. He's an obnoxious clown. I agree with you on Bellew. The word impartiality does not exist in his vocabulary. I totally agree. I reckon Darren Barker's a good trainer. Crap pundit. Yeah, Darren Barker, though, as a pundit, I don't think Darren Barker's bad or good. He's just in the middle. He never says anything that's like enlightening or anything, but he never says anything super crazy either. He's all right. I can live with Darren Barker. Evening Del Boy, I saw Bellew saying Kid Galahad has refused to do a pre-fight interview with him. I can't stand Bellew. I don't blame Galahad either. Yeah, I think Darren Barker is genuinely a nice guy. He seems all right, Darren Barker. Seems like good crack, yeah. Kid Galahad needs to go to Al Heyman, learn from Kell Brook's mistakes, forget about homecoming fights, chase legacy. Well, he signed a multi-fight deal with Eddie Hearn. Crazy D3. He signed a multi-fight deal with Eddie Hearn. And again, Eddie Hearn didn't even bid on Galahad versus Warrington, man. So that goes to show you how much Eddie Hearn cares about Kid Galahad. Salute to Del. To be fair, I heard the story about how Harley Quinn got the DAZN gig. Let's just say he wasn't their first pick, but a language barrier stopped the first choice. Interesting. Trying to work that out now. Is it true that Michelle Joy Phelps is on the MTK payroll? This means she will show bias towards certain fighters. Of course she is, man. Look at the Billy Joe Saunders situation with Canelo. How basically she went out there to protect Billy Joe Saunders. Not just her, IFL TV as well, taking down certain interviews that reflected on Billy Joe negatively. Like we all know what went down there, and that just confirms it. The media blackout from these certain organisations out there to protect Billy Joe Saunders and change the narrative. When them doing that just enforces the narrative or the actuality of what happened. Darren Barker makes me want to sleep. Oh, come on now. If Joshua doesn't stop Usyk within the first 4 rounds, I seriously doubt Joshua's going to win. Michelle Joy Phelps will go where a pound note is. LT. If Kid Galahad goes with PBC, he'll sit out and wait like Selby did for Leo Santa Cruz, Mares, etc., and end up aging out and losing. Yeah, you could be right, bro. You could be right. Emma fucking hell. Michelle Joy Phelps is a gypsy groupie. Wasn't Carl Frampton great on Friday? Was an analyst on the Conlon card? Yes, sir. He was indeed. I actually watched that fight. I don't like watching Michael Conlon, but that fight was actually watchable against TJ Dehaney. I suspect that inwardly Bellew knows that he's had to brown-nose Hearn in order to get those vacant title shots and big paydays because he knows that he's not that talented. Yeah. I'll be honest, yeah. Bellew as a cruiserweight was a decent fighter. I don't like the guy at all, but as a cruiserweight, he was decent. The Makabu win has aged very well. Even the Masternak win was good as well. Bellew was a good cruiserweight. Really, Bellew should have always been a cruiserweight. I'm not saying he wasn't a good fighter, because he was a good fighter, but just as a person, he rubs me up the wrong way. Honestly. Galahad will never get Russell Jr. or Leo Santa Cruz. PBC never made Leo Santa Cruz versus Russell exactly. But I don't think the PBC view Russell as like a draw. I think that was more so because of Leo Santa Cruz, to be honest. They saw Leo Santa Cruz as, Hispanic, drawing viewers. They wanted to cash him out at the right time, and Gary Russell wasn't the right guy to do that against. Hence why we got the Tank Davis fight. I think they would make Kid Galahad versus Gary Russell, personally. Do you reckon that DAZN should bring back Alex Arthur? He's biased towards Scottish boxers, but I like listening to him. Yeah, Alex Arthur isn't too bad, actually. Alex Arthur isn't too bad. And who is that chick on the Conlon card? If you guys were watching the Conlon card, who was that chick, the presenter? Like I always find her fucking mad attractive for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, she would get it, you know. When I say get it, I mean I'll take her out on a nice romantic meal and be a gentleman, obviously. Yes, big up to Florian Marcoux every single time. Matthew Macklin is arguably worse than Tony Bellew. That's a tough one. See, I think Bellew has it in him to be a good commentator. Like, he knows about the sport. He gives better insights than Matthew Macklin. Bellew's problem is when his mates are fighting. That's when it gets bad. Or when like a prominent matchroom fighter is fighting. That's when Bellew's bad. But I've heard Bellew commentate sometimes on guys where he's not really got any interest in. And he's not too bad, but he just can't be objective, Tony Bellew. Matthew Macklin is just bad in general. It's a hard one, that. I'd say Bellew will end up getting dropped from DAZN at some point. Once they get some real talent in, they'll likely drop him. PS for him was in the last comment. Oh, Carl Frampton, yeah. I heard about Carl Frampton on DAZN, G-Man. I heard about Carl Frampton linking up with DAZN. I heard rumours of it. I don't mind Carl Frampton, actually, as a pundit. He's not too bad at all. Ali Drew was the host. Yeah, I think she's quite nice, you know. Just a pretty girl. I think so anyway. I've not really got a type like that, though. But I find her quite fit. Matthew Macklin took too many hits to the head. He likes the sport more than Bellew. He does, yeah. Babbage is going to get converted into a cabbage soon. Yeah, fighting that style, he's going to get knocked out real soon, Alan Babbage. He's a knockout waiting to happen. My boy David Price does it. David Price, man, he'll knock him out. Guarantee you. Harley Quinn, when he commentated on Murray versus Rosado, he was good. Yeah, exactly. I think he's got it in him to be good, G-Man. Yeah, Frampton's not a yes man to Eddie, exactly. Sup, Del, anyone know why Alan Babbage doesn't have a BoxRec profile? So yeah, he does have a BoxRec profile, but he's not ranked anywhere. That's basically because I think BoxRec view him as a bridgerweight, but bridgerweight isn't on BoxRec, if that makes sense. So if you look at all of the guys who have fought at bridgerweight, these guys are not ranked. Like Kudryashov, for example, or Romanov. These guys are not ranked on BoxRec, but they have profiles and their fights are still recorded. I think that's what it is. They just don't have bridgerweight on BoxRec. There was also a third choice on the DAZN team, but that's an off-the-record story. It's a good one. Interesting. The whole DAZN team just feels like it's been slapped together with no real thought, to be honest. Wardley versus Gorman for the British title should be next. Good fight. I'd like to see it. I think it's a good test. It's a good test for Fabio Wardley, and it's a good fight for Nathan Gorman. I think it's the perfect fight for both guys, to be honest. Perfect fight for both guys. I think that fight's makeable as well. Fabio Wardley's not exactly a big name. Nathan Gorman isn't either. I think both promoters in that occasion should be willing to work with each other. Yeah, it's silly, isn't it? It is silly. If Gorman just doesn't roll over, he wins. Yeah, if he turns up in shape. I think this time next year, his own team will be better. Yeah, hope so. I hope so. Because to me, it's just like Sky 2.0 right now. I'd like Babbage to fight Price or Johnny Rice. I think both of them would beat Babbage, but either option would make for an entertaining watch. I agree. And yeah, I would pick both guys to beat Alan Babbage, both David Price and Johnny Rice. Good. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Cash Ali, Alan Babbage. Yeah. That's a good shout. I think that'll make for a fun fight. Babic, to me, looks like a blown-up cruiserweight in comparison to his last opponent. Yeah, he does. He needs to. Yeah, that's where he needs to be fighting, at cruiserweight, because at least then, yeah, the guys. Babic doesn't really have much in terms of skill set, but at cruiserweight, at least he's fighting guys in and around his size, so he'd be more effective. I want to see Babic get sparked out by Hrgović. He's trying to be the Dillian White to the Anthony Joshua rivalry. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Big up to ABC Def. Not seen you for a while, ABC. Unless my memory's just that bad. But big up to you, though, man. Big up to ABC. Babic is so fun to watch, but at heavyweight, he's a knockout waiting to happen. I agree. See, I know it's not going to happen, but I'd love to see Alan Babic versus Fabio Wardley. I think that'd be a fun fight. Did you hear about Barbershop doing a 180 and now exposing the PBC/WBA corruption? I don't watch him, bro. Honestly, I don't watch Barbershop. I watch very few boxing channels now. To tell you the truth, I watch very few boxing channels. By the way, lads, if you could smash the like, it'd be much appreciated. If you could hit the like, always helps the channel out, man. When you hit the like, Hrgović versus Babic would be fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, if you like one-sided massacres, then yeah, 100%, 100%. But I'd watch it. I'd watch it, no doubt. I tell you what, Babic's new chick, she might be a widow if that fight happens, because Hrgović would fucking crush him. Been busy these days. Excited for the next few weeks, though. Yes, it's going to be a good little schedule coming up. As I said, this weekend we have we got Casemiro Rigondeaux, which will be an interesting fight. We got Ortiz versus Kavalauskas this weekend as well. Boatsi Bolotniks, Pacquiao Spence coming up as well. Joshua Usyk, Fury Wilder 3. We've got some good fights coming up. Okay. I felt bad for the American boxers missing out on gold. Yeah, you know, the gold medal curse goes on, but you know, you guys had a better games this year than you did previously, so it's progress. It is progress. And I think Keyshawn Davis is interesting as a pro. I think he's a very good prospect. And also even Richard Torres is going to be interesting to watch. So I think you've got a couple of good prospects out of that bunch, to be honest. And you've made a bit of progress, which is the main thing. Yeah, exactly, man. Who was the better low-level boxer, Gary Cornish or Tom Little? Fucking hell. Probably both at the same level, to be honest. Is it me or are all of Fabio Wardley's wins a suspect? Richard Latte Molina just tripped and got uninterested in the fight, and now the early stoppage of Webb. Yeah, the Richard Latte fight was very suspect. Eric Molina basically, you know, he found a spot on the canvas and lied down. And you're right, yeah, all of those fights are suspect to one degree or the other. Hrgović would smash Babic, but I honestly don't rate him as high as some. Yeah, you know, the jury is out on Filip Hrgović, but a lot of people in the trade, I'm talking about fighters and trainers, seem to be very wary of him. Seem to be very wary of Hrgović. High risk, low reward right now. But yeah, I mean, ultimately the guy needs to be a lot more active. I know that's not purely his fault because of guys ducking him, but we need to see more from him before we can really judge how good he is. But yeah, I think he's interesting. I agree with you that the DAZN team does not have any chemistry at all. I tend to be of the philosophy that less means more. I don't see the need for 2 female hosts. I agree. Inactivity's killing the sport. Again, I agree. Especially with like young fighters making their bones. You know, like top quality contenders, prospects, and even champions are fighting once a year. And like, it's not like these guys are on pay-per-view or anything like that. It's crazy. It's a bigger shame that the American boxers who won a medal will not get the attention from ESPN like in the past. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like Andy Cruz, ABC Def. I think from what I saw, and I saw very little of the Olympic boxing, but I would say Andy Cruz was the most impressive guy in those games in terms of boxing. If I had to give a Val Barker to anybody, it'll be Andy Cruz. But is he going to turn pro? I hope so. Yeah, silver medal for Keyshawn Davis. Silver medal. Richard Torres has a fun style to watch. I think he could do well at cruiserweight, to be honest. Yeah, but you know where the money is, man. The money's going to be at heavyweight. And don't forget, he was a super heavyweight as well in those games. So can he make cruiserweight? Not sure. And he's going to get a lot of money thrown at him. He's a first gold medalist at super heavyweight for America since Riddick Bowe. So you would imagine a lot of promoters are going to throw a lot of money at Richard Torres. Olympic medalist, Hispanic, young. I'd imagine he's going to get some big offers, and it's not going to be to fight at cruiserweight. I'm looking forward to the two trilogies this weekend as well. Gutierrez Alvarado 3 and Franco Maloney 3. They're good fights coming up for sure. Yeah, like Gutierrez Alvarado 2 was a great fight, man. That was a great fight. I don't see the need for the DAZN camera panning to the female host asking a boxer about the fight. When you watch a fight, you want to see what is going on in the corner during the round. I agree. I want Bellew to return just so he gets battered again. Yo, did you hear him say to Maya Jama, "Oh, I never got knocked out in my career"? Did you guys catch that? Tony Bellew saying he never got knocked out. I mean, he must have been taking a power nap then against Usyk. Fucking hell. Like, listen, man, if I was talking to Maya Jama, I would embellish a lot, right? I would tell a few porkies, but Tony, man, that was fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Oh, dear. Dear, oh, dear. I'd lean towards Cash Farouk. First fight was close, but I felt Farouk won. I think the second fight would be similar. A shame Cruz can't turn pro in his country. He'd be interesting to watch in the pros. I agree. And again, I hope that guy turns pro. And also, I liked the look of the light heavyweight from Cuba as well. The guy who beat Ben Whittaker, he looked good as well. Yeah, Tony Bellew's technically better than Usyk. That was a diamond from old Johnny Nelson. I think MTK are going to rush Lee McGregor to a title shot, most likely through WBO by beating Paul Butler. That makes sense. Yeah, I think Top Rank would be ideal for Torres. Like I always think in terms of these young prospects coming out of the Olympics, who would I most likely sign with if I was in their position? And for me, Top Rank, they have their problems, of course, but in terms of matchmaking prospects, I think Top Rank are the best without a doubt. In regards to building a young fighter, yeah, I think they're the best. Yeah, Jalalov won gold, yeah. Yeah, he is short, but he's quite stocky, isn't he? He's quite stocky. What's your view on Joe Joyce? I get the feeling that Warren still sees him as a spare tire and still sees Dubois as a long-term investment due to his age. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd agree with that. But he'll try and get what he can out of Joe Joyce in the present time. I think he would like to make the Chisora fight because he had put that on pay-per-view. Yeah, Usyk really did knock the memory out of him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bell, you must be still slightly concussed. I've never got knocked out. Yeah, I couldn't believe he said that. I thought I was hearing things, honestly. I couldn't believe he said that. Again, listen, I would embellish some things as well, talking to Maya Jama, but fucking hell. It's terrible, 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 man. Yeah, Adonis as well. But like he got flatlined against Usyk. Against Stevenson, he got knocked out on his feet kind of thing. But he got knocked out twice, man. He got knocked out twice. Exactly, bro. Had the referee not stepped in and stopped it, Stevenson would have sent Bellew's head into Rose Z with his left hand. Indeed. He was like primed for a fucking brutal knockout. He'll be professional, LR. It's gonna be a low-key build-up, in my opinion. Joshua Usyk. Usyk's not really a trash talker. Neither's Joshua. If you don't antagonize him, it's gonna be respectful, and they're gonna fight. Usyk's gonna play a few fun and games, but it's gonna be respectful. If you agree, why do you think UFC fighters seem to have more personality and more marketable at the moment than most boxers? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure what it is, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure what it is. But there are more interesting UFC fighters in terms of, like you said, personality. Those guys seem more interesting to me. I don't know why. Do you think Kid Galahad was disrespectful in the post-fight interview? He seemed only interested in putting down Lee Wood's win over Zhu. I don't think so. I think he was telling the truth, man, to be honest. Lee Wood, great performance, great win, but he's not a real world champion at the end of the day. You know, and again, that's where people need to be consistent. We call out Tank Davis, and rightly so, for being like a freeweight regular champion. But just because it's Lee Wood and it's a good story, we can't really adjust for goalposts. He's a fake world champion. He's not a world champion, man. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Did it really need to be said? Not really, but it is what it is. I didn't really care either way. Everything about Joe Joyce is slow, not even being rude. He's just a slow guy. I'll tell you what, Joe Joyce's feet are quite quick. His legs are quick. He closes distance real quick, and he can move well, Joe Joyce. Yeah, his hands are slow. I've not seen it. Dark Sheath, I've not seen it. I've not seen anything on that card. Exactly. I mean, Kid Galahad basically said what we all say when it comes to the regular belt. That's what he said. It's a bullshit title, shouldn't exist. As simple as that. Yeah, Stevenson wanted to show Bellew how his pimp hand is way strong before the ref jumped in. Yeah, he might have fucking ended his career right there, man. If he connected with that shot. Yeah, Joe Joyce, I used for sweet science. Big up to Joe Joyce, man. Did anybody notice Laura Woods during an end of a round at McCarthy-Billum-Smith fight say, Tommy stuck his cunt out at us instead of tongue out? Fucking hell. I'm not going to add to that. In a few months to a year, I want to move abroad and take on boxing more seriously. Where would a good place to be to go? Sorry, Mexico, man. Go to Tijuana, get in one of those gyms, sweltering heat. Go to TJ, man, or Guadalajara. Why the fuck not? Listen, man, if I can get out of this country, bro, Mexico's one of the places on my destination list. There's a lot of places I want to see first before I chose, but Mexico is right up there for me. I'm definitely going to go to Mexico at some point. I need to go to Mexico at some point. But yeah, go to Mexico, man. Why not? Why the fuck not? I feel as though when you're next to Usyk, he demands respect. Bellew throughout the Usyk build-up. Bellew looks submissive, yeah. Yeah, that post-fight interview after he beat Takan was pretty funny. I don't mind Joe Joyce, man. Even like as a personality, he's a bit different, isn't he? He's a bit quirky, Joe Joyce. I find him he's awkward, but I find it funny. It's not like Dubois when you're like cringing. Do you know when Dubois speaks, you kind of cringe? But with Joe Joyce, it's like it's just endearing, I guess, with Joe Joyce. I don't know why, but I find it endearing. I like Joe Joyce. Yeah, Galahad was speaking facts, but I still don't like him. Yeah, exactly, bro. I'm not a big fan of Kid Galahad, but yeah, he was speaking facts. Mighty Max got blocked by Rigondeaux. Is Joe Joyce's Juggernaut costume that he wore for the Takan fight one of the best ring walk outfits you've ever seen? 100%, man. It was fucking hilarious. Listen, I wish the best for Joe Joyce. I hope he gets the big fights. He's good fun to watch. How far can he go? I'm not really sure. I think he'll get knocked out by the top guys, but we'll see. We'll see. He's good fun. He's good fun. Yeah, Mexico. Mexico or East LA are pretty much the same place these days. Yeah. So I'd love to go to Mexico, man. It's one of the places I really want to visit. Like I'll be devastated. If I don't go to Mexico before I'm 30, I'd be devastated, honestly. I want to go to Mexico for I want to sightsee in Mexico, travel the country, obviously, see different places. But I also want to go to Mexico on spring break as well, like Cancun. Do you know what I mean? For other reasons. I feel like a Mexico gym would be intimidating to begin with. You'll be fresh foreign meat, exactly. Guadalajara is a good time. Spent a couple of months there a few years ago. Ah, come on, Anthony, man. Joe Joyce is not a cornball, man. He's funny as fuck. I reckon he'll be fucking hilarious, you know. If you get him on a night out, imagine getting that guy fucking stoned out of his fucking tree. Joe Joyce, that guy'll be fucking hilarious. Yeah, don't run into CJNG. Yeah, exactly. I think they operate in Guadalajara as well. Pretty sure. But yeah, big up to the CJNG. I'm not going to badmouth them if I want to go to Mexico. Anyway, guys, I need to wrap this one up. I've got business to attend to. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Just a quick stream. I'll probably try and do one before the weekend as well. But yeah, have a good week. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you could, smash the like as well on the way out. Much appreciated.